What up, bro?
Hey man,
Yo,
hello, hello.
yo,
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, I can hear you
Yes.
fine. I
Hold
can hear
on.
you fine too.
Okay, bet. Yeah, I had my music was playing in the background. I was like, hold on, something's going on. I can see his mouth move, but I don't hear him. I hear Rick Ross.
How you doing, family? You good?
Man, yeah, I'm blessed, man. Let's get right into it, man.
Oh yeah,
Introduce
for
yourself
sure.
and give us something that you're grateful for.
Cool question. My name's Ray. I'm a medical assistant and a professional basketball player. What am I grateful for? Damn, I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful that I'm still here. I'm grateful that I'm existing, I'm living, and I've got the opportunity to grow every day. You
Amen. The
know?
opportunity to grow every day.
Yeah.
So, how did you grow into being in a lab and then also hooping? Like, how does that transpire? Can you take me back to, younger Ray? How did
Oh boy.
you walk us through this, man? Walk us through this story.
Oh boy. So I was what you call a really weird kid in school. Was didn't really have many friends. Was kind of sort of outcasted by the rest of the people that I went to school with and stuff, and all of these things there. But was introduced to basketball by well, my dad took me to like a local youth center and was like, "Yeah, you need to do something." So went over there, met my coach, who then became like one of the most, if not the most important person in my life. Learned the game and really enjoyed it. It was almost like an escape from bullying and all this and that and the other. But that's what it was at the time. But obviously, the more I started to play and everything, the more I got into it. And yeah, I just learned from there. And I had opportunities to go abroad. And my dad being a typical Nigerian parent that he is, wants me to be an academic. So I didn't have the opportunity to do those things. That was a whole other issue for itself.
If you
But
could clarify, when you say abroad, where were you living, and then where did you have an opportunity to go abroad to?
so I was here. I was in London, and I was playing in the London Schools League as it is here, and played one game, and the coach for the other team was desperate to take me to the Canary Islands to take me to Spain because
Mm.
they're opening up a new academy, a new Spanish league team out there, and yeah, they wanted to school me there. They wanted to train me up there to potentially play for their top division team. So there I was supposed to be doing that. It was going to take me and one of the kids from the school he was coaching. His name's Timmy, actually. He went, I didn't. It hurt me a lot because I didn't just see it as a basketball thing. I saw it as a way out of some of the stuff I was dealing with bullying and things like that. You know, just after that, kept my head down. It affected me in school, but my old coach then became like a father figure in my life. So I turned to him for everything that I was, dealing with and that I was going through, and just kept going with basketball, kept grinding with school. And then while I was still at uni, my old coach passed away. Well, it will be 10 years ago in a month and a bit. So, that hurt me. Dropped out of uni, stopped playing basketball after that because I was like, the reason why I was doing it in the first place ain't here no more. So stopped playing. Tried to go back to uni again, didn't work out. And I wasn't happy for a few years. Just with everything, I felt like I didn't really have anyone to sort of, or anything to sort of keep me balanced and sane and intact as a human being.
It was like
And
purposeless.
sorry?
It was like almost like a sense of purposelessness.
Yes, yes. I felt empty. That's what I felt. I felt empty. The person that was there wasn't there. The thing that was there for me consistently since I was 10 wasn't there anymore. Tried to go back to uni. Didn't work out the second time, just from a financial standpoint. So I thought I need to figure out a way to make my family happy and myself happy. So, started to deviate into the work side of things and try to get into the medical field that way. Was an apprentice, worked for free for a year, and eventually got my first. And job allowed me to sort of go back to university on a day release basis. So I'd go study like twice a week and go work the rest of the week and things like that. So I did that, which was a blessing. It was, I was able to sort of put everything together with that. And after a year or two, I decided, you know what, let me go back and see what I can do with basketball. I ended up playing National League basketball again. Well, not again for the first time. Started like at the very bottom, Division 4, not getting no run with like the top players or whatever that to begin with. And towards the end of the season, I'm starting games, I'm closing games, I'm rounding into a really, really interesting basketball player. So from there, I sort of went up a league, ended up playing for this team called Greenwich Titans. You know about them. Played Division 3 that year, won the league that year. I was league MVP. I started to think to myself, hold on, something's happening here. Then next season went up another division. At this point, I've got maybe 2 years left of no, I lie, 3 years left of studies to go. I'm balancing everything out great. Division 2 comes, we survive in the league, and I finished third in MVP voting. And I'm like, okay, turns out I'm actually pretty good at this. So
Mm.
the following season, I ended up playing my first pro year. I ended up playing for a team called Essex Leopards, who obviously don't exist no more. And I had the most amazing time. Large crowds, cameras, people just watching me, building a fan base. People actually like, I'm walking around certain places in St. Albans and Brentwood, and people are looking at me like, hey, I know who you are. That's the Bushman. And I'm like, yeah, it feels good. And I'm just again at the same time plowing through studies, plowing through work full time. I had no time to myself, but I was so determined to just be happy, determined to be a success at everything that I wanted to do.
Mm.
That I just kept going anyway. Fast forward 3 or 4 years, I'm an established pro. I got my degree, happened in July. Just finished the season at London Elite. We won the league. I made the British Team of the Year, made the Team of the Year. Yeah, looking forward to another Division One, another Division One season, and working towards being a doctor. I'm going to go to medical school hopefully in the next couple of years. Establish myself in that field too. That being said, because of how everything sort of panned together, my relationship with my dad has never been stronger. So yeah, like I think the way that my life has gone with regards to basketball and work is like everything sort of came together in a way that basketball played such an influence in my life with regards to growing up as a man and with regards to my decision making, with regards to the paths that I want to choose and establishing relationships. And like especially this year giving back, I'm mentoring now. There's a couple kids looking up to me. There's a couple kids playing in the national final fours this weekend in the north, and I've mentored them for most of the season. So it's nice to sort of see their growth as people as well. So just being able to give back and everything's just, I think, yeah, I'm just grateful to be where I'm at because there is a universe where I wouldn't be.
So what I'm thinking, because I'm visualizing your entire journey. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about, that kid that always has like the hood on, sitting in
Yep.
the side of class, but like they get good grades, they're handling their business, but like they're just like kind of like a loner. And then
Yeah.
this kid out of nowhere, he starts like hooping. Then he gets better and better and keeps climbing the ladders. But this kid still remains himself.
Yeah.
It's not like his foundation is still solid due to mentors and things, but it's not like he's letting that get to his head. He's still keeping his head down, staying the course, and growing as an individual. Can you speak
Yeah.
to what are some of the things that young individuals or people in general need to do to make sure as they're climbing that ladder of success, whatever that success is for you, that they still maintain that humility, that humbleness?
It's funny how you asked me that. I actually did a talk with some England kids a few months ago, and that was actually a topic of discussion. And one of the things I said was remembering your why, remembering what your purpose, why you're doing certain things, and what that thing means to you. One of the main reasons why I started playing basketball again was, to honor my coach, to make myself happy, to make myself feel whole in a situation, in a circumstance where I felt like I was missing something really, really big in my soul. So when I play, I put everything into it. I don't forget where I don't forget where I come from, and I don't want to go back to that. I was raised in the hood, one of the most dangerous places in London at the time. And I always told myself, I don't want to be like the people I see. I don't want to be like my next door neighbor. I don't want to be like the people I see across the road. I want to do something different. I want to influence people a different way. I want to influence happiness a different way. I want to make my parents proud. Just remembering your why, remembering your purpose, and also understanding that results that you gain in the moment don't actually determine the kind of person that you should be. I've hit a lot of roadblocks along the way. Again, losing my coach, having a mental block with a lot of different things. I've discovered a couple of years ago that been living this whole time as an autistic kid and nobody knew. My parents are the kind of, obviously they're traditional Nigerian parents. They don't like to diagnose their kids. So, now I'm a high functioning autistic adult, but, having to grow up with that, it's, a little bit difficult with regards to mental blocks and stuff and processing information because I was so eager to sort of make myself and, my old coach proud of me and happy and everything. I just wanted to work as hard as I could and, try to change the narrative of the things that I was dealing with in my everyday. Me as a person is remember always, this is just with life, like, work, dating, basketball, put your best foot forward. And, how do I put this? Only person that you know how to be 100% of the time is yourself. If you can remain true to yourself, then you've completed half the task that's at hand, whether it is dating or work or an interview or whatever it is. If you can stay 100% you, because that's the only person that you know how to be, then yeah, half the problem's finished. So
Mm.
I've just sort of put that forward too.
That was dope. One, because no excuses. That's almost like you telling me, because I didn't know. He said I'm a highly functioning autistic, like, and you mentioned the challenges that come with it, but nonetheless, my man's is a doctor and still playing pro basketball. So how do you? Because there are times and situations, I'll share a fact with you. This is here in the States. I'm sure it's probably the same in the UK.
Yeah.
Only 4% of young Black men who grow up in poverty end up getting out of poverty. Or to not allow excuses, the system, the color of my skin, the limitations that come with that, the learning disabilities, right? To not allow that to be an excuse. What can we do? Because it's easy to feel sorry for ourselves, right? When you have a goal, something's not going for you, the ref is going against you.
Yeah.
Basketball, right? Like, how do you maintain that mindset of like, regardless of the excuses, I'm still going to do everything in my power to accomplish that? Or what would you reckon?
It's hard. The statistic is alarming, especially in the States, because it's also very similar over here. I was one of those people that was raised in, first generation Nigerian parents, come over to the UK, didn't have much. It was hard, growing up and especially in an environment that was so volatile as the one I grew up in. But my parents are very prideful individuals. They want the best for the family, for themselves, but most of it is they're just so prideful that they won't take no for an answer. They want to be the best that they could be for siblings, children, parents. It doesn't matter what it is. They want to be the best at what they can be. As a traditional Nigerian, that's something that I've carried with me throughout. I'm only in control of the things that I can control. I can control myself, but I'm also a very prideful individual. I don't like to lose. Like, I could lose graciously. I can do all of these things, but in my head, I'm just like, this happened. How can I make sure this doesn't happen again? It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's basketball or whatever. I just don't like to lose. And my parents sort of put that in me. I'm not allowed to, like from even very early, if I don't do well in an exam, they were planning to send me to Nigeria and send me to the village and I was never going to see the UK again. That kind of disciplinary action. So I was like, no, I'm trying to stay here. I have to make sure I do what I need to do. I'm not trying to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and chop firewood in the village with my grandma. I'm not trying to do that. Yeah, I just don't want to lose. And the only way I could stay winning is to control me. I'm the only thing that I can control. I'm like, you see me play basketball. I'm a very unorthodox basketball player. I'm very technically unsound, but I can do a lot of things that nobody else likes to do really well. Diving on the floor, playing defense, rebounding on both ends, running the floor hard, doing all of those things that are really, really hard to sort of instill in anyone these days. That is a microcosm of how I live my life.
Mm.
I just keep going and going and going, and I'm not going to stop until I reach where I want to reach. You know, medical school's coming. I'm fully ready for that. I'm excited for it. I'm ready to kick its ass. Division One's coming. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to kick its ass. Like, it's just the way that I do things. I see a wall, I go through it. I don't try and climb over it. I just go through it. And I'm like, whatever happens, happens. If I break my arm, put a sling on it, and I'm just going to keep going. You know, that's just the way that I do. You know, this is the way I grew up. It's just a very look. I've even got the Nigeria flag next to me, back behind me. It's just the way that we do things.
Yeah.
There's a saying in Nigeria about my people. We don't know what the definition of last place is. That's what it translates to me. You know, anything that my like Deltons seem to touch, we make sure that we're number one and nothing else. We don't know what last place means. And I don't like feeling like I'm not the best that I can be as a person. So I try to make sure I don't know what last place feels like, let alone what it looks like.
It's like and I love your response to that whole like no excuses thing. It's like almost like a culmination of what you said before, knowing where you come from and knowing like having that pridefulness and still, I mean, you can't lose. It's like the alternative is I go back to like, it's almost like there was a famous conqueror, I guess, famous, right? In his story, traveled to one of the islands and I guess he burned the boats, right? And said, hey, like we have to conquer this island or we don't go back home. Like, and it's almost you have to see your goals in that way. Like there is no other, there's no other alternative.
You have no choice. You have no choice whatsoever. I have to win or I am screwed kind of mentality, you know?
Yeah.
Like my parents had to try and survive in a situation where they had no papers, they didn't have any of this. We're like, no, we have to make this work. Because if we don't, we are screwed. You know, and they did, and then they had me, and then I'm trying to make it work. But that's just the way that I'm trying to do, you know.
All right. So now we get to the segment, especially I would love to do this with you. We're going to drop some gems on some youngins, like when it comes to basketball and developing and growing as a player, because you've obviously went through that process of being, you know, at the lowest of the lows of the division to working your way up to the top.
Yeah.
So let's talk about routines and habits. All right. What are some routines and habits that young athletes need to begin instilling to help them, you know, work their way up to the top?
I think Marshall Lynch said this: take care of your chickens, take care of your mentals. In this case, obviously mentals is just you wake up in the morning, you say a prayer, thank God that you're here, thank God for the opportunity that you're about to do what you're about to do. I'm very particular. I wake up a certain time, I brush my teeth a certain way, I eat a certain thing every morning. On game days, it's a little bit different. On Sundays, it's a little bit different. But I have a routine of how I want to do things. I go to the gym at this time. I do this workout on this day at this time. That's the way that I am. I also go to therapy. I also make sure that, you know, I have someone that I speak to just to sort of break down what might be going on in my mind. The things that might be trying to alter me away from my past slightly so they can deviate me in the right way, like deviate me and keep me on a straight and narrow. Make sure I talk to the right people. I make sure I engage myself with people that are either trying to uplift me or people that I aspire to become. I'm blessed that I have friends that are not only important people in the roles that they have in work. I have someone that's a consultant for EY. I have someone who's a big guy in an insurance company in Australia. I have someone that's kicking ass in Dubai right now. But it's not just that as well. We have people who are prominent in their families too. You know, they have their own family, they have kids, they're in long-term relationships. And obviously I aspire to sort of be in a situation where I can be that too. So when I see them, I'm like, yeah, funneling all of that positive energy in my favor. So I guess with regards to the chickens, talk to yourself, look after your mentals every day. Surround yourself with people that are only going to uplift you and bring the best out in you just by being in their presence. Understand that there's a difference between listening and hearing. You can hear like what a lot of kids are guilty of. You can say something to someone and they can say, I hear you, but they're not actually paying attention to what's actually being said. Study what's being said and then take the message that you actually get from what you have listened to and pay it forward. And I really sort of instill that in the kids that I mentor, which is why they've all had very successful seasons this year. And then in a basketball sense, it's emulate the good things that you see from people. So people watch me, the first thing they think of is, oh, energy, energy, energy. How can I impact? How can I impact my team positively by doing the little things? I don't have to score to be able to be on the floor for God knows how long. How can I be like that? How can I make the most of my opportunities? What are the little things that I can do? And then when you're watching others, it's who do I want to model my game around and who can I watch to improve? So when I watch NBA, for example, I watch players like Al Horford because he's someone that he can stretch the floor like I can. He makes high IQ plays. He runs the floor. He can bring the ball up. He does all the little things. He dives on the floor at 36. He boxes out. He's very fundamental. And I'm like, I can take all of these things and instill it in the patterns of my game. With regards to game preparation, I like to, on what I'd worked on, for the week prior to games, but then I like to visualize what the game is going to look like, not just for myself, but for my team. I like to take 10, 15 minutes out, headphones on, close my eyes and just see how the game is going to play out. Because what I've learned is when you visualize what you want your reality to be, it's going to manifest itself in that way more often than not. Mm-hmm. So visualize what I want to do, how I want to do it, make sure I do it, and then make that a habit every single week. Visualization, study, mental talk every single week, every single day, and it becomes a pattern. You start to sort of realize that success will start to come because you're doing things to sort of empower positivity in yourself, especially with the mental talk. The visualization, you're seeing the great things that you can do. The people around you, you're seeing the great things that they're doing. All of a sudden, you're piling all of this positivity within you that it's going to eventually just burst. You're going to want to do something with it. Hence, you perform better in life. You perform better in school. You perform better. And yeah, I guess those are the three. Those are the things. Mental talk, watch the company you keep, listen, don't hear, and visualize what you want your future to look like, whether it's near distance or near future or distant future.
I'm going to dive deeper into the company you keep. Because I feel like that's one that's often overlooked. Like, I mean, we talked about previously in your journey, you maintaining your solid foundation and staying who you are as you're ascending, while there's some players who, as they're ascending, they kind of tend to attract a certain crowd, right? Or tend to, join the in crowd. What's popular, and what's popular usually is like what's destructive, right?
Yeah.
The drinking, the partying, all the things that are destructive that aren't that are going to force you to deviate away from the goal. So why is it, or I guess if maybe we can dive deeper into why your environment is so important. Like a lot of the things that you said were counterculture essentially, because like you're saying, in order to be a good basketball player, we have to take control of our minds. It's like, what? You're telling me it's not about just dribbling the ball and perfecting what do you mean? Like, why is that such an important piece to the puzzle?
So
let's talk about it,
So the mind is probably the most important muscle that you have in your entire body. Your mind controls your body. If you don't have the mind to do something, you're not going to do it. If you don't have the mind to wake up in the morning at 6 and get some shots up, you're not going to do it. If you don't have the mind to wake up in the morning, you look outside, it's pouring down the rain, you're just like, you know what, I don't feel like working today. You're not going to go because that's what your mind is saying. So I always try to make sure that my mind is in a space that, one, it feels comfortable. 2, I can process what's happening around me. And 3, I constantly feed it with affirmations and positivity so that I could have the motivation to go out and do the extra work, go out to the gym, go out
affirm yourself,
study,
affirm yourself. Like, this is good, confident.
It could be something as small as, all right, like you wake up in the morning, I rub my eyes, I look outside and I look at the time, I'm like, all right, Ray, Another day, let's go get it. You got this. Simple thing. You'll get up in the morning, you go through your routine. But that's just the way that my mind works. My mind is so, because I've always been like, obviously my growing up, I've always been a very peculiar kid. I can say that openly. I've just been a weird guy. But my mind now is programmed to seeing the best in every situation, especially within myself, because I approach every situation thinking this time it would be different if it was negative before. And if it was positive, I approach that situation with the feeling of this is going to happen again.
Do you feel as if your peers and the people you surround yourself influence your thoughts?
They influence my confidence in my thoughts. I think that's something. I think I'll put it that way because what my friends do, like most of my closest friends actually live abroad. Like I mentioned, Dubai, the States. I have a really good friend who's actually out in Boston. I need to see her. Czech Republic, Nigeria, you name it. I've also got friends here too, but what all of them have in common, and this is the reason why I love them so much. Like, we have a period of time where we see each other all the time. We have a period of time where we don't. Normally, it's during the season we don't see each other. But what they do every single time without fail, and this is why I love them, is that they empower me to be me at all times. I'm not allowed to be anybody else. If I feel jealous of something, they'll give me the platform to speak on it. If I feel away, they'll give me the platform to speak on it. We have a group chat. We talk all the time. We share stuff. We share memories. We do all of that stuff. But the thing that they do all the time, from Prince to Shaq to all of the Kings, you name it. And this is why I love playing where I've played this year, because it's the first time I've actually felt like this playing basketball. I was empowered to be me. When I'm empowered to be the person that I am, I have the confidence to be one and in sync with my mind. It's made me want to continue to do the things that I have been doing, because my people and the people around me are clearly showing me that this is the best thing for the situation. This is the best thing for us. You being you helped us win the league, for example, or you being you put us in a situation where we have two players in the British team of the year and the team of the year. You being yourself made a contribution towards get promotion to the top division, So because they've instilled that confidence in me to be me, they've instilled that confidence in me to trust my mind with what it's been doing. I'm just going to continue to do that.
Yeah, that's really dope because, like, again, if you have people around you who are not confirming and giving you the confidence to make those decisions, we see it all the time. Buddy swings it to his two guard misses a shot. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, don't give the ball
and then the downhill spiral begins.
Yeah,
the big man cuts, doesn't catch the ball. It's like, then the down. But if you have people around you who are affirming and like, nah, it's cool, bro. Like, we're gonna get it. You're gonna get it back. But that comes from, again, like, the relationship, the quality of people you have around you, because that have a direct influence. Like, even in a team setting, it happens sometimes. Like, let's keep it a buck. It happens sometimes where you have 4 or 5 guys who are actually team oriented and actually wanting to get better. And then the majority of the team is actually on some BS, not really focused, kind of being negative. Like, you as a player have to decide which group you're going to join. And you got to stick with the group that's empowering and uplifting, because long term, it's only going to benefit you. Like, what is it going to benefit you to get all the negativity inside of you? Like, and spew that, like, what's in you is going to come out of you. So if you're putting in that negativity, you're going to continuously put it out. And that's conducive to growing in basketball.
Yes. And that's why I love my team this year. Like, just a testament to us. Like, we didn't have anyone averaging crazy numbers. We had 6 guys averaging in double digits for points. We had, a couple of guys in the top 10 in 3-point shooting. We had a couple of guys top 10 in rebounding. Everyone was doing something. Everyone was contributing to the cause, and no one was really standing out. Our ethos was team offense, team defense. We work hard for each other, and that's that. This is the first team where I've been told, Ray, we want you to shoot the basketball from free. You know, they gave me the confidence and the comfort to be like, you shoot that shot. So much so when I'm missing it, they're telling me, Ray, keep shooting that. And I've never had that before until I got to this point. You know? So yeah, that's just to piggyback on your point. It's just trust. It's just a level of trust and an empowerment to be yourself. And when you're around that level of empowerment, your mind just does the rest.
That's a fact.
Oh, you hear me? Yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right, calm.
So, question, man, and I've always been wondering this whole drink the stew. Can you fill me in on this drink the stew concept and how it developed? Is it appropriate for the content or
No, it's appropriate. It's appropriate. I actually got it from
okay.
I got it from my younger brother. Like, we are a very fresh African family. We love food. We love our soups. We love our stews. And I think one time on Snapchat, my brother was just like, he was going through a difficult time with work and everything like that. And he said, regardless of what happens in life, there's always stew at home. The only thing left to do is drink it. And I'm like, you know what? This actually makes sense for the way I live my life. So I've kind of just took it and just planted it in the way I do things. Like, I have to drink the stew. Like, everything that I'm doing with regards to my work and my training and my basketball and my studies, it's all part of a higher purpose. You know what I mean? I'm preparing. So here's an example. My routine every week. I go to the gym. I get some shots up. I go to practice. Game day, I perform. Everything leading up to it is me cooking stew. I'm adding my seasoning. I'm adding my tomatoes. I'm adding my meats. I'm mixing it all together. When it comes to the game, it's time to drink it. And I'm hungry.
You ain't got nothing else but
Exactly. Everything I'm doing, I'm preparing the stew to drink. That's literally what it is. And what's funny is that my team is now adopting that. You know, like, I've got my teammate at London Elite, Corey. He goes up to me, he goes, yo, because he has a really good shooting day. And I put up a caption saying, oh, I made a lot of stew. I seasoned a lot of stew for the team to drink. And he goes, no. I'm in the yard, man. I've made bare soup this time. So yeah, like, it's just a mantra. Like, everything I'm doing, I'm drinking stew. And regardless of what happens in my life, obstacles, hurdles, wins, losses, ups, downs, lefts, rights, it's all part of the ingredients for this stew I'm about to drink. So I'm gonna keep drinking it regardless. No matter how old I am, I'm gonna keep drinking stew.
That's a bar. I'm taking that audio clip. Yo, that audio clip is going over a bunch of my basketball videos coming up. Thank you.
Tag me in everything. Drink the
And
stew.
last question we got, and I wanted to make sure I created enough space and enough time for us to actually like dive into this. If let's say you randomly pulled up on your 16-year-old self at a basketball court, what are some words of wisdom that you would drop on him to get him prepared for the rest of his life? Right?
That's a really difficult one, because there's a lot of things that in the next, I'm 31 now. So there's a lot of things that will happen to 16-year-old me in the next 10 years. No, I lie. In the next, from 5 years, from 21 onwards, that will alter his mindset on life. The reason why I started the whole thing was saying that I'm thankful that I'm here and I'm alive and I'm well, is because there was a universe where I actually wouldn't be here. Like, there was a period of time where I actually thought about doing something very, very unregrettable. My parents don't know. Only one of my friends know. And some people know. If it wasn't for the fact that there was a policeman passing by, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you. We would never have met the way that we did. We would never have had our workouts the way we did when I was at Greenwich. None of that would have happened. So I think the first thing I would have told 16-year-old me, just with regards to life, not even with regards to basketball, just with regards to life, is head up, chest out. You got shit to do. You got shit to do. You got stew to drink. You got goals to accomplish. Things are going to happen. that's going to fuck with you. But there is no way in hell you're allowed to let that change who you are. And I think that's the blessing. I eventually did not change the person that I was when I was 16. Till now, I'm the same person. A little bit more outspoken, a little bit more confident, but I'm the same person. But there are so many universes where I would have just called it quits and just did everything, and that would have been it. I would have the first thing I would have told 16-year-old me is, you got shit to do. Obstacles will come. You have stew to drink. You're hungry, so drink it. The second thing I would have said was, and I discovered this Bible quote actually a lot later in my life: do not be conformed by the ways of the world, but be transformed by renewing your mind. If you can not let what the outer world, if you can let what the outer world is about to give you not affect you, you will be the strongest human on the planet mentally. Those are the two things. I would have told them two. I would have told my 16-year-old me those two things. And the third thing I would have told him, something Jalen Rose used to always say on his podcasts when he used to do it with David Jacoby. He used to say, in life, you never get what you deserve. You only get what you have the leverage to negotiate. So if I could not let the outer things get to me, if I could continue to persevere and drink stew, that's my leverage in negotiation. I can get anything that I put my mind to in life. And that's literally how I've been living my life. What is meant to be for me is there for me. If I can see it, I want it. I got into medical school the long way around, but I'm there. Became a pro the long way around, but I'm there. It's there now because I've seen it and I know that I can do it. And now I'm doing it. I'm not trying to let it go. I drank stew. That was my bargaining chip. That was my negotiation chip. So those are the three things. Get yourself together. You got stew to drink. Number one. Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed by the ways of the world, but be transformed by renewing your mind. That's two.
Shout out to Paul Wall. Shout out to Paul.
The third is you don't get what you deserve, only what you have the leverage to negotiate. Combine all those three things together, you literally have me. I am the physical manifestation of that. That is literally my whole life.
And if somebody wanted to continue to follow your life, if they wanted to tap in with you, man, how would they tap in with you, Big Dog?
Super_Bushman. Don't ask questions about why they call me the Bushman. It is what it is. Super_Bushman. Give me a follow. Drop me a message. I'm very out there. I'm happy for people to talk to me, ask me questions if they're going through stuff. If they want, to do mental health sessions with me, I'm more than happy to sort of jump on and be a help. If they wanted to work on, my game and everything, work on their game mentally, I'm more than happy to, be a part of that. I know you're gonna come through in June. You're gonna be in London, so it'd be nice to see you and chop it up, and maybe we can do do another one of these, live versions of the podcast, break bread some more,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Super_Bushman. I'm around, I'm open, I'm active, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere.
He said, I got stew to drink.
I got stew to drink, man. I literally need to cook after this. I got stew to drink, man.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you drink your stew. Let me go ahead and prepare my own, man.
Let's go. Let's go.
Much love, man. I appreciate you taking time, man. And yeah, I'll be seeing you in about 45 days or so.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Look, I've always got time for you, man. You know how it is.
Love you, brother. Love you,
brother. You too, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, much love. Peace.